Hello, everyone. This is Leonard de Guzman, co-host of Life After D. I'm here with Emily Robinson, a famous divorce attorney. So we're here at the current time. We're in the coronavirus crisis, yeah. So I don't really want to talk about it, but it's inevitable. Emily, like, there's a lot of things that life's like probably never going to be the same after this. As far as like your clients who've gone divorced, how has life changed between like child custody, that's an important thing, and like finances. So what's going on, really?
Yeah, it's like really hard because everybody's stuck at home and trying to homeschool their kids, and parents that can't get along or have trouble getting along or having to somehow now get through this with sharing homeschooling responsibilities and having to trust each other that they're keeping their children in safe environments because these kids have two homes and they're going back and forth. And so it's a challenge, but for the most part, I actually think, at least with my clients, people are doing a really good job. They're trying hard to be respectful of the current situation and to have their kids go back and forth to the other parents. But I still do get the calls of, one parent's doing something unsafe in their home, or do I have to exchange the kids because I'm worried that, this person's exposed to this and that. So it's tough. And it's tough because we don't really have the answers because the courts are closed. So we're doing the best we can to guide people in the right direction.
So like the courts are closed. It's like any disputes between parents and the child custody, they kind of have to it's like mediate it between the two, because like, where do you go? Like to, I guess, officiate it. Like divorce is already hard enough, I can imagine. So it's just kind of like between the two parties right now.
Yeah, I mean, you either have to work it out yourself, or the lawyers have to work it out, or you can hire a mediator. I've been doing a lot of mediation because at least then you've got a neutral trying to help you out. But yeah, pretty much. The courts are only open for emergencies, which is just restraining orders, or like someone's trying to take my kid out of California without my permission, or like irreparable harm to a kid. But that's really hard to prove. That's not like, oh, they're not following the custody orders. That's like someone's giving my kid drugs, someone's, physically harming my child, like things like that. Not even probably emotional abuse would typically qualify. Okay. So yeah, it's a different world. We're trying to work it all out without being able to run to a judge.
And so like I imagine a lot of parents' schedules are completely like off, because there's probably some parents who have to stay home. Some have to probably work more if like you're like an essential worker at the hospital. I know like some nurses have to like work like probably extra. And then there's cases where these doctors and nurses, they can't come home. They can't come home. They haven't seen their children in weeks. So it's just kind of like case to case.
Yeah, it's case to case. I mean, some parents, in these cases are in the health industry and have voluntarily given up their custody time because they have to quarantine. Other parents I've seen are pretty selfish, and even if they're putting themselves in danger because of their jobs or just their lifestyle, they still demand on having their kids. But so it's really case by case. And if it's bad enough that, the kids are really in a dangerous situation, then you can go to court, but it's very hard to prove. But yeah, it's been tough. People are homeschooling their kids while trying to work and trying to work things out with the other parent. It's not easy. It's not easy for anyone.
And then how does it work? Like, I know there's like a certain case where you have like pet custody. Is that the same kind of thing where I think dogs can kind of pass it, or but it's the same kind of way, or
So dogs are from my understanding, I don't
yeah.
think they can actually be sick with
Um,
COVID-19, but they are a surface, just like any other surface that
hmm,
you touch and you could pass it that way. So dogs really shouldn't be going back and forth right now, even if you have a pet custody agreement. I guess unless you know that the other person's being safe. Because I mean, kids can too. It could be on their clothes. I
yeah.
mean, everything's a
Okay.
surface, really. So, but obviously, like kids need to see their parents. Dogs, need to see both their owners, but hopefully the owners can, maybe just work something out to get through this without having to risk each other's health.
Okay. So like another aspect, like financially, right? You got alimony, you got child support, and there's probably like, moms and dads who are just like losing their jobs right now, or on with it furlough, like and disability. So how would like child support and alimony, is that on hold? Because at the same time, people depend on that for their livelihood.
Yeah. I mean, it's not on hold. It's still in
Mm-hmm.
order. The general guidance from the court is pay it the best you can. And then as soon as you're able to, file a modification request with the court. That may not be heard for a while, but if you get the filing in, you at least reserve your right to have retroactive relief. Some courts aren't even accepting filings right now, like Ventura County. So there's nothing you can do. My guess is that the legislature is going to probably have to make some type of order that says that, or maybe it would be some kind of executive order, I don't know, but that says that, if you lost your employment due to COVID-19, you'd be able to get some type of retroactive relief, even if you couldn't file for it in the courts, just like they're doing with lots of other things.
Okay. I just realized I have this green screen in the back with a beach, so some people are watching it. It's a green screen. I'm just like in my little boring office, but
I like it.
I forget.
Well, I
Yeah,
took a picture of my office and I'm
yeah.
actually in my home office, which is very messy. So I put this picture up so that it looks like I'm actually in a nice, neat office, which I'm not. But
Okay.
that's technology, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was supposed to be like a serious topic, but people are like, this guy's on vacation. This is
I think it's nice and relaxing. We all wish
okay.
that we could go to the beach right now. I can't
No,
believe they
no.
closed the beaches.
Yeah,
Oh,
they close the beaches, and we're in LA County, right? And I think a lot of things are closing, but I don't know. I guess maybe the banks, the mortgages are hopeful for July. So
I hope
we'll
so.
see. We're just waiting. Just everyone's waiting. It's like the great pause.
I
So
know. The
yeah.
world can't be paused this long. Like our infrastructure can't support it. And like, I mean, you can't just pause life this long. I realize it's necessary, but
Hmm.
I don't know. All my court hearings are getting moved to like July. So I or sorry, June. So I have a feeling that it's gonna just be this big boom. And then that makes me worry
Hmm.
about like reinfection and having a second wave, which I've heard could happen.
Oh wow. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
because the people who work, like it's say in a grocery, um, yeah, who knows?
I
So like
know.
what else? What other things? What other weird calls are you getting? Like, are you getting? I mean, this is like unexpected, and people probably panicking. Um, what are you
Yeah,
hearing?
I'm expecting, that there's going to be a lot more probably divorces and restraining orders after this because people have been stuck, at home with each other. And sometimes if it's already a bad situation, that can just make it worse. Um, in general, things have been much more quiet because nobody can go to court and nobody can do much of anything. And everybody's sort of in the same boat of a difficult situation. So mostly the calls I'm getting now are things that don't need immediate attention, like mediation, prenups. Unfortunately, I'm getting a lot of calls that people's weddings are postponed because they can't have their
Oh,
wedding. So they want a prenup, but it's, there's no end date on it because it's, they don't know when their wedding is going to actually be. I'm getting calls about, I really want my divorce to get finalized, but is the court really backed up? Are they going to still be accepting paperwork? What do we do? I'm getting lots of calls about, like, please put my case on pause because right now the market is terrible and I don't want to get divorced when the retirements are down or the real estate's down. So there's like lots of, there's lots of fear out there. I'm getting some calls like, what if I die from COVID-19? Is my spouse going to inherit everything? And how do I stop that kind of thing? So I think there's just a lot of people are scared and the future's so unknown. It's new territory for all of us. And the lawyers are scared too. I'm like, I don't want to go in on emergency hearings to the courthouse. I mean, I will if I have to, but
yeah, because you'll be in danger. Like I guess, a lot of things are unknown, but I mean, someone just can randomly, I guess, cough on you and, you're in danger. So,
yeah. I mean, the more interactions you have with people, the more at risk you put yourself. I don't even want to go to the market or Target, but I have to, but I try to avoid it. It's
yeah,
kind of like,
yeah, like Amazon, like I guess the groceries, you have to find like a certain time and it's just booked and you got to like check every hour.
yeah,
Yeah.
I can't even get groceries delivered. They're like a week and a half out. So I've been going to the market.
Oh, you gotta get the mask. Gotta get a
Yeah,
mask or something.
I don't have a mask. You can't buy them anywhere. I have gloves.
Oh yeah. I saw someone with like gardening gloves the other day.
I guess if that's all you have. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's like a different world. So hopefully it gets back to normal soon.
Yeah. So all right, let's end the episode there. If anyone has any questions or wants to share the story, let us know. We'll put it somewhere maybe in the comments and go see you in the next episode.
You can use a fake name. You don't have to use
You can
your
use
real
a fake
name.
name. If you want to talk about your story, yes, you'll have a stage name, right? That's
Yeah.
like a celebrity, you can have like a I don't even know. I heard something like you could like make up like a street name or something and something else to make up your name. Is that a
Yeah,
thing?
you can use there's all these formulas like on Facebook, like the first street you ever lived on plus your like, I don't know, like your first grade teacher's last name is your like stage name or something.
Yeah. So yeah, we're looking for guests. So yeah. So let's see what happens.
We'll be back soon.